Howdy, folks. I'm mesmerized Alaskan marmot, meticulously memorizing marvelous monuments.
I'm Amber.
And here are more monuments for us to memorize. There's a lot of them. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Making My Friend Walk Home After He Insulted My Cooking? I am a 27-year-old male, and I hosted a small dinner party at my place for a few friends last weekend. I am no professional chef, but I enjoy cooking, and I spent hours prepping a nice meal. Everyone seemed to like it except my one friend, Mark, a 28-year-old male. From the moment that he sat down, Mark kept making little comments like, "Did you forget to season this?" or "This is why I stick to takeout." At first, I just laughed it off, but he wouldn't stop. Eventually, he said something along the lines of, "Man, even a frozen pizza would be better than this." That was the last straw for me. I told him, "If you hate this so much, maybe you should just leave." He laughed, thinking that I was joking, but I wasn't. I made it clear that he wasn't welcome to stay if he was going to keep insulting me. He ended up leaving, but since he didn't drive, he had to walk home 20 minutes. Now, a few friends are saying that I overreacted and that kicking him out was too harsh, while others think that he deserved it. Mark texted me later, calling me petty, saying that I made him feel humiliated. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And the audacity of Mark being like, "You made me feel humiliated." What was his goal if not to make OP feel humiliated?
Yeah,
Like, it's common courtesy that you don't go around bashing the host's food repeatedly.
yeah,
I don't know what he was expecting to happen. And as long as the weather wasn't like, terribly inclement, and he's gonna like freeze, a 20-minute walk isn't that serious. And he could
yeah.
have asked someone to give him a ride or, call an Uber or something. So he had options
Well, we do like a 20-minute walk
every
every
day.
day at
Yeah.
lunchtime, right? And I mean, like, that's not a long walk at all. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that most people would be able to do. And I mean, maybe there's a medical reason why he couldn't do it, but I don't think that OP would have kicked him out like that if there was a medical reason. I'm hoping at least, right? Now, it also sounds like OP didn't kick him out, but he said, if you continue to insult my food, then you're no longer welcome, right? So it makes it sound like he just wasn't willing to be quiet.
Well, I guess that's a good point that I kind of missed when I was first reading it, is that, yeah, he literally is like, "If you keep insulting me, you need to leave." And so this guy could not refrain from insulting OP for the rest of the meal.
Yeah. So I feel like this whole posting on social media and all this other stuff is probably just a way to gain pity points.
Yeah, exactly. He's this whole stunt that he's pulling because he could have stayed and been quiet. And I guess to that, OP's really not in the wrong, like because he made the conscious choice to leave because he couldn't stay quiet.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Husband That He Ruined Christmas After He Opened Up All His Presents Early Like a Greedy Toddler? For some context, this is a throwaway account because my husband, we'll call him Matt, a 31-year-old male, also goes on Reddit quite a bit, and I don't want him finding this. So I'm a 29-year-old female and I've been married to Matt for 4 years. Every year we have a tradition of opening presents on Christmas morning together after breakfast. We go all out on gifts and it's something that I look forward to every year. It has become a really special part of the holiday for me. I thought that Matt knew this and understood this. This year, Matt started acting overly eager about our gifts. About a week before Christmas, he started dropping hints like, "I can't wait for you to see what I got you, and I really hope you like it." I thought that it was cute at first, but then it escalated. On Christmas Eve, after we got back from my parents' house, I went to bed early to get ready for the next day. When I woke up on Christmas morning, I found that Matt had already opened half of his presents on Christmas Eve after I went to bed. Not just one or two, but at least four, including the big ticket item that I had worked hard on for weeks, a really nice hand-knit blanket. He also opened some of my gifts as well. Some of the gifts that were from my parents, others were from him. I was pretty shocked and I couldn't believe that he had done something like this. So I asked him what happened. He said, "I just couldn't wait. I was just so excited and I figured that we could just open the rest today." He didn't seem to think that it was a very big deal, but I told him that I was upset because it broke our tradition and took away part of what makes Christmas morning feel so special to me. Plus, I thought that it was weird that he opened gifts by himself, especially the ones that were meant for me. He tried defending himself, saying, well, I opened the gifts for both of us, so it's still fun. Not even entirely sure what he meant by this. But I told him that it didn't feel like fun to me. It felt disrespectful, and I didn't want him to open up any more gifts for me at all. I told him that I kind of wanted to return the rest of what I had got him. I haven't done this yet, but they're still sitting under our Christmas tree, wrapped up, as I haven't decided what to do yet. Now he's upset, saying that I'm too controlling and that I ruined the Christmas spirit. He even called me a Grinch. He's acting like I'm blowing this out of proportion, and he's even started bringing it up in unrelated parts of our relationship, making me feel like this issue is spiraling into something bigger than it should be. Even some of our family members are split on this. Some agree with me, and others have said that it's not a big deal. I really don't know what to think. I love him, but I've never seen him act like this before. It felt childish and inconsiderate. And I can't help but feel there has to be something more to his behavior because this is just so odd. What should I do? Am I being unreasonable for feeling this way, or do I have a point? I'd appreciate any advice. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, this does feel really weird, and I'm kind of wondering if it's time for him to get a checkup.
Yeah.
Because if he's never behaved like this before, and this is out of the blue, that screams to me that maybe there's something that's not right. Like, it's possible that he's had this impulsive side all along, that he just kind of like kept under wraps for several years, and but it feels like a whole personality shift, kind of, and that concerns me.
Well, also opening presents from him to her, right? He already knew what he got her. So that's the part that actually concerns me a lot here, is that why would he open presents that he already knew that he had gotten for OP, right? Instead
He
of
had
waiting
that
for her.
line about how he was opening the presents for the both of them, so it was still fun. Which I think that was his justification for opening OP's presents, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. And so when people have drastic changes in personality or do things that are really odd, it would be a good idea to go and get a medical evaluation. And I think that that's really what needs to be done here. He probably is fine. There probably is, maybe this is just some kind of weird lapse in judgment that he's had, but it doesn't hurt to, go to the doctor and have them evaluate him,
Yeah, and I mean, if it turns out everything is fine and this was just something he did, I mean, I think it's time for maybe some marriage counseling with how big he's making this out to be, because it sounds like everything is coming down to OP being upset. And OP had a right to be upset that he opened the presents beforehand, including some of hers.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving my husband and stepdaughter stranded on Christmas when I found out that he gave her my big Christmas gift? My husband is a 41-year-old male and is the worst at gift giving. We have been together for over 3 years, and after the first year of not receiving anything for my birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day was the last straw after being told that I wasn't a mother. I decided to start matching his energy. Father's Day came and I was gone all day when I normally would have put together a big lunch/dinner and drove 30 to 45 minutes to get his daughter, a now 16-year-old, so that they could spend the day together. He called me in the afternoon and I was polite but not initiating conversation. He asked me when I was going to pick up his daughter, and I replied that I had plans and that I wasn't aware that I was supposed to pick her up since nothing was communicated to me. When he responded with, "It's Father's Day," I used the response back that "you're not my father." I had anticipated for him to get upset, and I knew that a constructive conversation would not be had, so when he started to raise his voice, I told him to check the table and I hung up. I had left a letter to him communicating how much I was hurt about going out of my way for him and not to have any sort of reciprocation. He called me later and said that he would try to be better and work on it. I ended up going and getting his daughter during the week so that they could enjoy a dinner together. Background info, he drives big rig trucks, so the vehicle that we use for everyday travel is mine. He's been better about getting gifts. It's more of a go pick something out and I'll pay for it, which I really don't mind. He does the same thing with his daughter. I do all the shopping for his family's gifts when it comes to birthdays and holidays. Cut to a week before Christmas, and I wake up to my favorite coffee drink and my husband taking me out to eat breakfast, followed by a trip to the mall to pick out my Christmas gift. I rarely splurge on myself when it comes to purses and clothes. I have a preteen son from my first marriage, so I tend to be more practical on myself and spend on him for his birthday and Christmas. My stepdaughter, however, is very materialistic and is always asking for money or something expensive, and between her father and his family and her mother and her family and her stepfather, she always gets it. I have been repeatedly saying out loud that I needed a new purse since mine was hanging on by a thread, and had decided to invest in a good designer handbag. I started saving money and looking online for my new dream purse. So imagine my surprise and excitement when we get to the department store and I see that they have my dream purse in stock. My husband sort of gave a look when he saw the price, and I told him that I could contribute and explained how I had been saving so that I could save enough to get this purse that I had been dreaming about for months. He shook his head and said that I deserved it and he would get it for me, but also gave me the expectation that since he was getting me this, he really couldn't afford to get me anything else. I screamed with delight and I told him that was okay. I didn't need anything else. With that taken care of, my husband asked me if it was okay to go get his daughter and take her Christmas shopping. I had tons to do at home in preparation for the holiday, so this worked out great so that I could have an empty house and get done what I needed. I was reacting to getting a new purse when we arrived home, and he said for me to leave it because he had another gift that he had previously purchased for me that he was going to put inside of the purse for me to open on Christmas. I was on cloud 9, so I kissed him and I left my bag and I went inside. I was still busy cleaning and decorating when he got home later that night, and the rest of the days before Christmas were all a blur with me trying to get the house ready for the holiday. I hosted Christmas Eve at my house with family, and Christmas Day I slept in tired from the night before and woke up with enough time to brush my teeth before we headed out to go get his daughter, then drive to spend the day at his mother's house. I fell asleep on the drive and woke up after his daughter was picked up and we were already en route to his mom's. I turned around to greet his daughter, and that's when I see her rummaging and holding my new purse. "Where did you get that purse?" I asked her, and the car completely fell silent. I looked at my husband and he stayed silent with both of his hands on the wheel looking straight ahead. I asked her again, this time in a louder and more stern voice. She looked down and quietly mumbled, "My dad gave it to me." "You what?" I screamed. "How would you think that it would be okay to give her my new purse?" He told me to calm down, and I cut him off and I screamed, "No." And then I turned back to his daughter and told her that her father had no right to give her that purse and that she needed to give it back to me, and that's when she refused. I could feel my anger raging and then subsiding to a feeling of sadness and complete defeat. I put my coat over my head and I leaned against the window trying to cover my face and mouth as tears started running down my cheeks. My husband pulled over at the next gas station and his daughter bolted out, taking the purse with her. He tried to comfort me, which I slapped his hand away and told him not to touch me, and I gave him a look of disgust. He informed me that after he had dropped me off the day that he had picked up his daughter and took her shopping, on the way to taking her home, she noticed the bag and saw the purse. She begged and pleaded with him to please let her have it. She reminded him about all the times that he never got her a gift and how giving her this purse would make up for it, and then played on his heart, and he finally caved in and gave her my purse. He tried to say that he was going to make it up to me, and I asked him how, knowing that it was impossible. He already spent his money and made it clear that he wasn't going to have money to buy me anything else. I couldn't help but get upset as I tried to get him to understand how hurt I felt and how it's not like she was suffering with her getting to open presents from her mother and stepfather, plus gifts from their family, along with the gifts that she was going to get from his family, and that he had already spent money on her for Christmas presents, and that was my one gift. I know that Christmas is not about getting presents, but I was extremely upset that my husband could be so thoughtless and not consider the amount of pain this was going to cause me. His phone rang, and it was his daughter calling him inside, asking him to come inside because she needed money to buy something. As he was walking into the store, I looked back, and tears began to fill my eyes as I saw all the gifts that I picked out for his family with care. Something came over me and I stopped crying. Got out and I got into the driver's seat and I wiped my face and I peeled out of the gas station parking lot, leaving my husband and his stepdaughter behind. I turned my phone off and I drove back to town and I spent the day with my family at my cousin's house and stayed with them, not returning any of my husband's calls and not returning home until the day following. The only phone call that I did return was the one from my stepdaughter's mother to set her straight after she left me a hateful message about leaving her daughter stranded because I was jealous her father bought her a new purse. I told her that she had been told a lie and informed her of the truth. That, in fact, her father did not buy her a new purse. He bought me a new purse, and she played on her father's emotions after he had already bought her expensive items from her Christmas list to guilt him into giving her my purse. She apologized and tried to come up with a solution, to which I replied for her not to bother. The damage was already done. I found out through my sister-in-law that my husband's brother went to get them, and the story came out later that evening. His mother is on his side, while his brother and sister-in-law and other aunts and uncles sided with me and got onto his daughter. I have not spoken to his daughter since Christmas, and things have been unsettled at home. I have become more distant with my husband, and when I make dinner, I don't serve him a plate. I serve only my son and myself, and I only engage in conversation with my son. He tried to reach for me at night when we are in bed, and I always end up crying. I'm not angry or mad, I just feel nothingness. He's back on the road, and I do miss him, but I can't shake the feeling of how he let me down, and I cannot hide my looks of disappointment. Looking to see what others have to say about my situation. All right, folks, what do you think?
I feel so bad for OP in this situation. It is clear that her partner is not being a good partner right here. He is the adult here. I understand his daughter was guilt tripping him, but it's still his responsibility. And he did not think about the implications for OP. He just expects OP to just roll with it. He didn't even have the courtesy of telling her before Christmas she had to find out seeing his daughter with the purse. I don't know that he's a good partner. I don't know if this is a relationship worth salvaging. Like, you could try couples counseling, but I don't know if he even fully sees what he did as wrong. He seems to think that he can't do wrong because his daughter was playing on his heartstrings, and how could he do otherwise?
What was he expecting to happen when they got to start unwrapping presents and she didn't have a present under the tree or anything like that?
I think he was just expecting Opie to take it because, he did that for so long. Like, he couldn't be bothered for their first Christmas, birthday, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day to get her a single thing.
I want to bring up the Mother's Day thing. He said that she wasn't a mother?
She wasn't his mother.
Or wasn't his mother. Oh, I must have misread that line. But yeah, it's weird because he is expecting all this kind of stuff, but he won't reciprocate at all. And it just seems like a really bad situation in that respect.
He's self-centered and entitled, and it's another case of those partners who they see their partner as like a caretaker more than like an actual like equal in the relationship. Like, his wife is supposed to do give and expect nothing in return.
Yeah. I feel bad for OP. I can't stress that enough. I think that this relationship may just have reached its course here at this point in time. Like, if you're driving away, leaving your husband and your stepdaughter behind, then that's not a good sign for a healthy relationship. It's clear that this is causing OP a lot of undue stress. It's causing them a lot of pain and anguish. And I think that they just need to either go into couples counseling and try to work through this, or she needs to realize that he's never going to change and that he is going to keep favoring his daughter over her. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call a numerical wizard?
A mathematician.
A math magician.
A math magician. That's pretty close to what I had.
And today is National Word Nerd Day. So
National Word Nerd Day.
Yeah, so I kind of went in the opposite direction with the number thing. Right?
Amber's like, words? No.
Numbers? I
yes.
do Wordle every day, so it's not like I'm not a word nerd, but I don't know. I just thought the math magician joke was funny.
And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, terrific Thursday, Friday Junior.
Yes, happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on thoughtless gifts or just being a thoughtless partner.
Don't expect your partner to do things for you that you wouldn't do for them.
I think that is good advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.